Hi everybody, how you doing today? My allergies are really bothering me. Look at my eyes, they're so bloodshot. Anyways, I was outside in the garden last night and got a whole bunch of tomatoes. So I decided today we are going to, let me show you, sorry for all that. Whoop, hi doggies. Look at these suckers, like ridiculous. So today we're going to can them, whole can them. Come back around so I don't make you sick while I walk. First thing that we want to do, we want to get on the stove, hot water, because we're going to take the peels off. So it takes a little bit of work, but it's going to pay off in the end. So just have a pot on the stove, we're boiling, we're going to dunk those in for about 30-40 seconds. Then we're going to bring them over here to some cold water. I usually put ice in here just to cool it off more, but I don't feel like going and getting ice at the gas station because I'm running low. So we're just de-skinning all of them at first. Let's get started. Okay, let's get started. I'm going to show you how I do it. This is my process. However you do it to get through it is going to be the best, easiest, quickest way. Anywho, all right, so I have my pot of boiling water. Just taking my tomatoes whole. I like to take my stems off, and then honestly I'm just dropping them in. You don't even have to pre-clean them. When they're in this pot boiling for 30-40 seconds, they'll become clean. We're taking skins off anyways. I'll even use my tomatoes that are imperfect. Hello, I can talk today. Turn the heat up a little bit more. Let's get these babies done quick. And then that one's not going in. And then I just have an empty bowl with some little clamp or tongs that I can take out. When I watch my tomatoes in here, as soon as the skin pops, I want to take them out, bring them over to my sink, and dump them into cold water so that they stop cooking. We're not cooking them in this process. We're just taking the skin off. Oh my goodness, who has fall allergies? I do so bad. It makes me feel like a loop-de-loop sometimes. Good heavens. I swear, I have a college education. Sometimes I don't feel like it when my allergies kick up. I'm so dingbatty. So, let's take a look, see if any have started to pop. Not yet. Let's heat them up a little bit with the top on, make that process go a little bit faster. So, that's what we're doing. We're just de-skinning all of our tomatoes first. Alright, so look at, they are starting to split. Can you guys see this? Let me show you. So that's all it did. The skin just burst open. So once they start doing that, you're taking them out. Let me just get them all, and then we'll bring them over to the sink like I said. That one. Anybody else done? Yep. I also like to mix up my tomatoes. These are little this year, but they're San Marzano that I grew out in the garden. Then I also have other plum. I like to mix up my tomatoes, honestly. Big Mama's, San Marzano. I have, gosh, what else do I have? Campbell's out there. I have Amish paste. I mix them up. So let's bring you off over to the sink. Okay, so then just dump in a cool water bath, and then while you're waiting for the rest of the skins to burst open, you can come over here with your core. Where is mine? This is the core that I use. Just take out the core, take your skins off, put them in a little bowl, and then put all of your good tomatoes in here. So let's keep this process up. Okay, I'm starting to get my bowl a little full, so I'm gonna prep 7 of my wide mouth quarts to start adding my tomatoes to. So to each one of these quarts, you're gonna add half a teaspoon of citric acid. I get this from Azure Market, and I love it because you can get things in bulk from there. So half a teaspoon to each one, and then we're gonna start layering tomatoes. And I went out and picked some basil out of the garden. So let's start filling them. All right, this part's easy. So you just take your whole tomatoes. Let's do this front one so you can see it. And then you are just starting to pack them in there. I kind of want to get the same size plums. Just keep them whole. You don't need to squish them down. So pretty. So, all right, halfway through, I'm going to take some fresh basil leaves and put them in there. I want to make it pretty, so I'm going to stick it to the side. I think I'm just going to do 3, maybe 4 per quart. I am sorry, this is hard to do one-handed. I should have put it on my stand, but jeez guys, sorry about that video. Alright, keep putting them in. And keep jamming them in there. You want to fill it up until you get about 1/2 inch headspace on the top. And that's fine. You see I'm squishing them in. That's fine. So pretty though. It's gonna make amazing tomato anything when you are ready. All right, so we're squished in. We have the 1/2 inch headspace. So let's debubble them quick and fill the rest of my jars. Okay, just to remind you how to debubble jars. Do you see there's some air pockets in here? So I'm just taking just a chopstick, getting those air bubbles out. There's some down here, some right there by my basil. So that's what debubbling means when everybody says that on their videos. Debubble. Alright, and then also I want to also tell you what I do. When I separate my tomatoes, I actually have a container that I keep my skins in because I am going to dehydrate those later. It's a good way to thicken up your sauces and anything pasta that you want to do after. And then I just put my bad parts or my little stems in for the chickens. So let's keep going. In the meantime, get your hot water bath ready. Alright guys, my jars are all full. I've already wiped off all of my jars to make sure there's no sediment on top. Now, we just want to put the lids on, and we're going to put our rings on and put them in the hot bath. The water is already boiling, waiting for us, but look at how pretty this is. I like to put the basil leaves so you can see them on the outside, but it's so pretty, and it just gives a hint of basil. I mean, come on, who doesn't like basil? I grew up eating lots of Italian, and I can tell you this is a very, very good way to preserve our tomatoes, and they're coming in full force right now out of the garden, so this will be a good way to get them off. Okay, so we can fit 7 quart jars in the canner at one time. So they're all loaded in. Try not to let them be touching each other because they'll kind of shake and I don't want them to knock. They've never broken that way, but old school. Okay, so then carefully just lower these in. I really hope I didn't do too much water. Oh my gosh, I totally did. Gosh, I hate when I do that. Do you see how full that water is? Oh my gosh, we're gonna have a mess. So just empty some water out. We want to bring the water to back up to a boil. It'll just take a couple minutes because remember, these tomatoes are raw packed. They're not hot packed. I didn't cook them first. So what we are going to do is to hot bath these once it gets up to the boiling temp again. We're water bathing, same thing, for 55 minutes. If you're gonna do pints, it's 5 minutes less, so it's 50 minutes. So 55 minutes, once this is back up, you want to pull them out, put them on a towel on the counter, leave them overnight, or at least 12, 20, well, probably 24 hours until all the lids seal. You'll be done. You'll have some tomatoes to put in the pantry. Okay, let's get these cooking. Okay, this is up to a boil. So start your 55 minutes. And we'll go from there. Started a new batch, by the way. Okay, friends, here it is. Here is our quart canned tomatoes with basil, a little ascorbic acid or citric acid, 55 minutes in a water bath. Perfect. It's gonna taste so delicious this winter. Look at Piper or Stella. She's been helping all day. She's exhausted. Piper's back there. She's exhausted. Okay, but we have more to do. Let's keep going. It's gonna be so yummy.